Hello, and welcome back to the Obsidian Mirror, where we pause a moment to reflect. We're going to see what the cards might want us to look a little bit closer at today. And while I set up the spread, I invite you to connect with your body if it feels safe to do so. And see if there's anything that you need at this time. That could be water or another beverage. Perhaps a snack. Maybe you want to get out some excess energy by stretching. Or doing some push-ups or jumping jacks. Maybe you want to grab a comfort item. Now would be a great time to do something small to take care of yourself. And I just want to let you guys know how grateful I am to be here. I have had some changes in my life recently, which I consider positive. And while they have been good, in my opinion, it has made recording something that I get to do infrequently. I am looking forward to being able to record more frequently, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. And I hope that whatever your time is right now, day, night, smooth, not so smooth, that it's generally good. I know there's always room for improvement, so may improvements to your quality of time happen. I wish you guys the best. In an effort to refine my process here, if there's any feedback you would like to provide for me, anything you like or dislike, feel free to let me know. I see this space here as a forming community. Some of you who are more aware of tarot on YouTube may have heard this called a collective before, and I like that term. But I think here I'm going to continue using the word community, which, in my opinion, I would like more of in my life. So if you would like to be a part of this little community on the internet, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. If you feel called to say hey in some way, you are more than welcome. And if not, that's fine too. Just being here. Just being here with me today makes it well worth it, in my opinion. And you may come to know this about me over the course of our time together, but I have many opinions. I am a woman of many opinions. Some of them are unpopular, and that's fine. I digress. And also, sorry for the squeaky chair. It's the one I have to work with at the moment. I guess technically it's a stool. Okay. Before I get into the interpretation, I'm going to take a few deep breaths, and you are more than welcome to join me, starting now. I think the first thing that comes to mind when I'm looking at this spread is that 3 of the images seem to be in the reverse. And I'm not going to necessarily interpret that as opposite or negative. I typically read that as a potential energy or a latent aspect of whatever it is that we're looking at. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And I invite you to really look at the images and keep track of any associations that come to mind, memories, symbolism, synonyms, because that will help us get a better idea of our internal landscape at the moment. That being said, the first card is the Hermit, and I dearly love the Hermit card. It is one of the archetypes that I find myself embodying more naturally these days. It is a card of reflection, which fits the channel, introspection, and shedding light on the past through review. The Hermit is someone who purposefully spends time with themselves to get to know things on a deeper level, whatever deeper level that may be. It could be intellectual, it could be emotional, it could be spiritual. Now, for this reading, right now, I'm getting a sense of a little bit of tug of war. Perhaps there is the potential or the desire to embody the hermit archetype more. Perhaps there are reasons that we want to reflect or inspect our internal landscape. There are things that we want to review. We want time to review them. And for whatever reason, it seems like there may be some sort of struggle in terms of balancing that need or desire with other responsibilities. Maybe we don't have the time. Maybe our career or work life, maybe our family life is requiring a lot more attention these days. Maybe it's hard to slow down in a way that feels safe so that we can do this review process. Sometimes in life, when we are going, we kind of get accustomed to that, how do I want to say? I want to say frenetic quality, but that might not be right. It's like we're stuck in a higher gear, and it's difficult or jarring to slow down, even if we want to, or we mentally know that maybe we need to. This could be also related to self-care. Maybe we are not taking the time to recharge properly or as much as we need in between the responsibilities that our day-to-day life calls for. This could look like not enough sleep, perhaps not giving our body the fuel that it needs to carry us through the day. It could be an absence of some kind that we can't necessarily name. Sort of like that idea of having a hole inside of us that we don't know how to fill. And maybe it has us chasing stimulation, chasing the next dopamine hit, chasing entertainment through movies and whatever it may be. So in this read, I get a sense of a need to slow down, or a desire to slow down, or an invitation to slow down and see what happens. Moving on to the next card, we have the stone archetype card, and I'm going to let you think about rocks while I look up the meaning of this card, because I would like to give you a good idea instead of flying off the handle with associations, which is something I can do quite easily. But right now, I feel called to go to the book, so that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for your patience. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what we have so far is build a cairn in nature, find inspiration in Andy Goldsworthy's stone egg forms. I have no idea what that means, but I do know what a cairn is. C-A-I-R-N. And I believe it is a Scottish tradition of piling stones in memorial to something. We also have, in Jewish mourning traditions, stones are left at graves rather than flowers. Sit with this vision for a moment and see what unfolds. So I think I got that wrong initially. Whoops. The eternal, the anchor. When light, steadfast, loyal, committed, and persistent. When dark, weighted down, holding back, and cold. I think that the sense I'm getting right now is of being weighed down. Perhaps it feels like we're carrying a lot right now and we don't know what to put down, or if we can put anything down without letting somebody down, whether that be somebody in our life, ourselves, maybe a very important thing in our life like a hobby or a project or something that has to do with community. I'm having a difficult time breathing right now, as if there's a stone pressing on my chest. So I'm going to pause here and take a few deep breaths. Again, you are welcome to join me, starting now. I also get a sense of juggling many things and the fear of dropping something. And that can feel also like a lot of pressure on the chest. When I feel overwhelmed with responsibility or a day of many logistics or any number of things, it can really help me to take 10 or 15 seconds to just breathe, to try and clear my mind for a short time that I can fit in nearly anywhere in my day, and just let it go. Whatever it is, it will still be there in 10 to 15 seconds. Sometimes I have the luxury of being able to do this for 10 to 15 minutes, once a day, maybe in the morning and or in the evening. But I think that in terms of this reading, I'm getting a heavy sense of carving out small pockets of time where we can reconnect with ourselves, even if it is just 10 seconds. It can make all the difference. And I know it sounds like a bunch of hippie mumbo jumbo. Believe me, I used to be of that line of thinking. And if it does sound like something that is more spiritual than practical to you, I invite you to do some research on it. There are plenty of, there's so much research that's been done and is available online. Google Scholar is an excellent resource if that's something that you want to look into more. In any case, I'm going to move on to the shadow card, which is the Ace of Swords, or cruelty. Combined with the cards previous, I'm getting a sense of, combined with the imagery, of course, getting choked up or having a hard time breathing or keeping our head above water. Maybe we feel like we are literally being dragged down by others and not necessarily just responsibilities. People who have names, people who have needs, people who have expectations. And that can be a lot when somebody comes to us with a need. It can also be a challenging set of decisions to make, how we show up for other people, how we can help in the moment, even if we have been known to help in certain ways historically. And perhaps that is a change that is difficult to navigate. I'm also getting a sense of overthinking, but not in a diverse way necessarily. I'm getting like thought loops or recurring themes that we keep coming back to without resolution, and how that can feel like a form of cruelty in its own right. It might not necessarily have to do with other people, but something that we are stuck in mentally and feel like there's no way out or there's no solution. So I guess right now I'm getting a sense of self-cruelty and also accidental cruelty. This is not necessarily nefarious. There may not be any evil intentions, so to speak. It feels much more circumstantial right now. I'm going to move on to the next card, and we have Strength in Reverse. I have goosebumps for anybody who's interested. My hairs are standing right on end. Anyway. For the Strength card, I feel like there is a wish to be stronger. Perhaps we have been able to endure similar situations in the past, and right now we just can't access that inner strength, and that can be its own form of struggle and torment. I used to be able to handle that. I used to be able to navigate this. I used to be able to hold my head high when X, Y, or Z. And I wonder if that strength or lack of strength can give us an idea about our internal sense of equilibrium, of homeostasis. Perhaps being unable to endure something is a signal. Maybe a lack of patience is a signal. Maybe our frustration tolerance dropping is a signal. I also think that we don't have to be strong all the time. We don't have to exist with infinite tolerance. We don't have to take everything on the chin. If somebody treats us poorly over and over again, it's okay to stop smiling and pretending it's a joke, for example. It's also okay to be worn down sometimes. That can be its own signal that we need more rest. Perhaps the strength is not gone, it's just depleted. And this could be an invitation to restore ourselves in some way so that we can find that inner strength again. I think that the Strength card in reverse here could also signify the potential to develop strength where maybe we haven't had strength before, a sort of resolve or fortitude in the face of whatever is happening now. It can also be much quieter. It can be the strength to admit that we have not necessarily been taking great care of ourselves, and finding the audacity to put ourselves first. And by that, I do not mean hurting other people. I mean maybe working with our sleep schedule or sleep hygiene, hydrating more, taking some necessary time off of whatever responsibility we are able to take some time off from, if that's possible. I understand that this can be a very difficult position to be in. I have been in a similar way multiple times in my life, and sometimes slowing down and connecting with myself doesn't feel good at all. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sit in the quiet alone with my thoughts. It's just not a great time sometimes. So if you relate, my heart is with you, and you are not alone. And if we were going to try and look at this spread as an opportunity for transmutation, which I am inclined to do, I think that there is a lot of opportunity here. I think that there is a lot of opportunity. I think that it would be well worth taking some of the stones that we are carrying and seeing which we can put down. Maybe not forever. It could be for a moment or a day, so that we can walk without so much burden, just for a stretch, maybe just 10 seconds, so we don't feel weighed down and overburdened. I think that it would be well worth examining how and where we see cruelty in our lives, and if we are hyper-focusing on cruelty to the detriment of ourselves. The reason I say that is because I know some deeply compassionate people who struggle to get out of bed in the morning because they are so depressed about war. And that is a valid thing to experience. I just wonder how much of that is actually helpful, to be so depressed and anxious and scared that you can't even enjoy your life because of the suffering others are going through. What does laying in bed all day over a war actually do to help us or the people who are embroiled in the war? So perhaps there is an opportunity for us to rebalance something of our intellectual life. Yes, there is cruelty in the world, and where may we be increasing it or magnifying it? Yeah, I'm just going to leave that one there. I think that in terms of transmutation, that these cards go together, and that it may not be very much fun at the time, but slowing down and reconnecting with ourselves can actually help us and restore our strength, or find new strength where previously there wasn't much. I also want to say that sometimes strength is not obvious. Sometimes strength is something that we know we have, but we do not display. I think one example of that would be the archetypal mother who is able to hold things together and smile for her children no matter what she is experiencing on the inside. Some strength goes unnoticed, and that's okay. I'm going to end the reading here with a deep breath, and you are welcome to join me, starting now. Thank you for spending the time to be with me today. I hope that I see you again, and maybe I will, on the Obsidian Mirror.